Peace, family. My name is Vicki Dillard, and thank you so much for tuning into my personal channel here at VickiDillard.tv. I'm so pleased that you are with me today. I do have a little bit of a ritual, family, that as you come in, be sure to come in giving me a big thumbs up, thumbs up. Be sure to like and be sure to share. Yes? Come on in, family. Come on in. Let me fix my little stuff here, baby. Y'all come on in, come on in. Everybody hit that thumbs up button and share, share, share. I don't see anybody in just yet. Um, but um, I want to have a brief conversation with you today. I want to let my Instagram family know that I am here live on at VickiDillard.tv. Yes. And if you are on Instagram, you can see me here at Vicki Dillard TV. Yes. Are y'all ready? Let me let my Instagram family know at the same time, family, on the count of three. On the count of three, as you come in, be sure to come in giving us a big thumbs up, thumbs up. This is your sister with the curly braids, Vicki Dillard, and I'm so pleased to be with you today. I am live now on my personal YouTube channel. You can watch me, access me now at Vicki Dillard TV on YouTube, or you can go directly to the stream at VickiDillard.tv. Yes. So on the count of three, everybody, let's hit that thumbs up button and share, 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 hype, or whatever the stuff, whatever platform you're watching me on, do the thing for me. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. Are y'all ready? On the count of three, let's hit that thumbs up button. 1, 2, 3, thumbs up. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Share, 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 share. Okay, I'm seeing somebody come in my YouTube channel. McQueen says, beautiful sister Vicki. Hey, precious. Thank you so much for your kind comment. It says, hello, Queen. I see Uncle Phil. Is that it? Uncle Phil or whoever that is. Thanks for all you do. You're so welcome, precious. Somebody said this. Okay, baby. Somebody else said, good day, Goddess. Thank you. Ooh, somebody came in giving the money. Baby, you my kind of person right there. Who is this? Virgil. Oh, that's one of my masters, my long-term master. But he always come bearing gifts. Your gifts are blessed, my beloved, 1,000-fold. Yes, I see you coming. Instagram. Hey, Instagram family. I want you to know you can watch me live right now on my personal YouTube channel. I'm going live really, really quick. I'm going to say really, really quick because I'm really going to stick to it. I'm not playing with y'all. Somebody on Instagram. Hey, y'all can see me so pretty. Thank you for your compliment. So Instagram, come join me now here at VickiDillard.tv. You can access me directly there, or YouTube, Vicki Dillard TV. Yes. And by the way, somebody on Instagram, please put VickiDillard.tv in the chat so I can pin it there for folks to know exactly where they can connect with me. I also want to let the family know to be on the lookout in the upcoming couple of weeks. I'm getting ready to have a paid, very, very private, very, very, very highly privileged webinar. How many of you all know? Some of you all attended, many of you from all over the place attended my series that I've made to the public that my students get this knowledge on a regular basis. If you're a member of my low-cost monthly mastermind school called the Vicki Dillard Mystery School, you can learn more at VickiPlanet.com. We'll link my website on the platforms. But for others of you, I have a series that I've been doing for a long time now called How Bloodlines Shift Trade Lines. Ain't nobody doing that. It's the goddess that does that. How bloodlines shift trade lines. And I have been giving specific information related to both domestic and international, ancestral, spiritual things, powers, bloodline powers, spiritual powers that we have that could actually shape the economy. Now, these are not things that the powers that shouldn't be, and even some of our foremothers and forefathers have taught us because they didn't realize it. But how many of you all know that the powers that shouldn't be, some of the quote unquote elite, even though we know that's not true with that term calling them elite, but you all know what I mean when I say that. How many of you all know that a lot of times they know us better than we know ourselves? And that is to say, they understand that there is something that is beyond the 3D. There is something that is beyond the physical that has to do with the uniqueness and, frankly, the glory of us and our people. And it is so powerful that it actually shapes the economy. How many of you all know it's not only our labor, but it is our virility, our energy that brings wealth? And I'm not just talking about um, the US dollar, which of course I'm including that. But there is spiritual wealth, there's material wealth, there's all types of wealth. And that's what I'm referring to when I'm talking about creating out of nothing, out of thin air. How many of you all know that if you don't come from a certain pedigree, a lot of times, if you don't hail or matriculate from certain schools and have certain credentials, how many of you all know that if you're not inside establishment systems, that a lot of times we're typically shut out from abundance? How many of you all know that if your credit isn't a certain way, if your business isn't a certain thing, if you are not the ones that they choose for certain contracts and certain this, that, and the third, if you're too much of a truth teller, the Essence magazines of the world, the BETs of the world, the Revolt TV, for example, when they reached out to me some time ago, and I don't know if somebody got the word to pull me when I was supposed to be a part of a debate, political debate show years ago, but instead they had someone else replace me. But I was one of the first options before anybody was ever chosen for a new show. When you have people that, for example, on the Breakfast Club that will shout my name out, but won't bring me on, but will bring other so-called revolutionaries on instead. When you have others that say that they're in certain spaces similar to mine, but they are not elevating my stuff, promoting my stuff, even though they get their inspiration and their ideas from me, but they're happy to accept platforms that perhaps they should say, well, wait a minute, if my sister doesn't have this opportunity, what does it look like me taking this opportunity? Why am I bringing that up? Because there was a prophetic thing that I'm supposed to be doing, a spiritual shift. That is not something that everybody is just supposed to be doing because they sound good. Can everybody hear me okay? If somebody else says anything about the sound, let them know that if they say no sound, let them know that if they don't check their device, they're going to get blocked. Whoever that is, I want y'all to tag whoever that is and let them know to check their device that y'all can hear and tell them if Vicki said, since they say they can't hear, if they keep doing that, they will get blocked. Everybody hit that thumbs up button, share, share, share. Now, this is an issue because there are certain spiritual shifts that need to take place that have divine authority and sanction connected to it. Are y'all listening? So when you allow people to invade certain spaces that they have no business being in or certain roles, they're actually delaying, listen good, the divine plan. Now, I have prophesied to my audience. I've been on numerous networks over the years. I am a pioneer and a legend in this alternative media space and in the alternative Black political media space. Like it or lump it. And you have to understand that I have been saying for years on multiple places and spaces that I've been on, that there is a changing of the gods and there is a changing of the goddesses. Are y'all listening to me? That's what's taking place right now on our planet. There are shifts with who will actually rule, who will reign, and who will have impact and influence in the new world to come. And it's not who's in power now. And it's not those people that look like us, but they're steadily trying to maintain proximity to the world that, damn it, I've helped to damn. So this is the reason why those folks that claim to be like us, or even people that claim they appreciate my work, they still don't fully rock with me because they still want the crumbs. They still want the vestiges of the world that's dying, that is meant to end. So I'm offensive to them because what they've spent their degrees and their money and their time and their days elevating toward, I'm saying must come to an end. So the world that I'm offering doesn't quite look shiny yet. It's not that brilliant world that they were told meant something. And they think foolishly that they're immune from what's going to come. And they say to themselves, who is she? Using her computer and a hand device to impact the world. I don't quite believe her. Who does she think she is? And they fail to understand the incipiency of power. And you're not good. You're not the best because you want to rock what appears to be successful. No. The sagacious one knows how to invest in something when it doesn't quite look like it's going to pay off. The sagacious individual is the one that understands power, that understands and recognizes the diamond when it's in the form of coal. You don't get no credit because you can quote the New York Times or Ebony or Black Enterprise or Essence or BET. That's when you're going to say amen. That's when you're going to support, quote unquote, other truth tellers. When those sorts of platforms say it's safe to say it. You and your safeness, I can assure you, hear me good. You are not meant to be safe. And because you want incremental freedom, and because you believe in that gradualism, you're fit for a tsunami. You're fit for a tornado encounter because you want to take your little sweet time to preserve the thing that's meant to end. Instagram, my name is Vicki Dillard. Come on over to VickiDillard.tv. I'm live here and I'm going to discuss the fact that Congress is said to have honored Mother Khadijah Muhammad's passing, the wife of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan of 72 years. And then I want to also show you a clip of Al Sharpton when he was asked about her passing. I think you might find it surprising, or maybe not. By the way, family, be on the lookout. In a couple of weeks, I'm going to be doing a paid How Bloodlines Shift Trade Lines webinar, and I'm going to talk about how we activate mystically and practically our ancestral powers so that we can begin to remake our reality and pull abundance out of thin air. I want you to do it with me. Let me tell you something. I received these downloads quite a while back, and I began to teach it before I had an opportunity myself to actually utilize some of those principles in my private time like I want to, based on this powerful revelation. And Spirit said, no, you're going to help create abundance out of nothing with your people. So if you want to participate in that, because our power, Black family, like an Olympus, is always in our spiritual authority. That has the ability, when we put that first, some of you all are familiar with the scripture that says, put first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you. Well, the principle of it is about putting first things first. And I say to you that because we have not properly put our spiritual foundation in place, everything is off. And I'm saying that we cannot utilize normal techniques, practices. We cannot rely on man-made systems of scarcity to manifest the life of our dreams in the new world to come. I'm saying that if you want to participate and to learn in a 2 to 3 hour ancestral how bloodlines shift trade lines. And everybody knows my webinars are out of this world. It's unmatched in every way. But your divine spiritual team, if you are resonating with what I'm saying, you want to stay tuned so that you'll learn how that you can save your seed, make that spiritual investment in yourself so that you can further activate what's already latent inside of you. And our collective powers are meant to give momentum and add to the manifestation of each of our lives. You don't want to miss that. That's going to be called How Bloodlines Shift Trade Lines. And I'm going to be talking about how we actually activate, give you some secret rituals on what you can do in order to manifest using our ancient ancestral rites and remedies. Talk black to me, somebody. Instagram, I'll see you right now at VickiDillard.tv. Okay, family. Everybody hit that thumbs up button. And share, share, share. Yes? Everybody hit that thumbs up button and share, share, share. Y'all, let me just finish uploading this real quick on Instagram. Y'all know I'm a one-woman show. I'm doing this live. Thank you so much for your patience and letting me inform my Instagram family that I'm here. By the way, family, be sure that when you're on Instagram, follow me on Instagram at Vicki X Dillard. You can follow me on Instagram at Vicki X Dillard. Yes? Follow me on Instagram at Vicki X Dillard. Thank you so much. Okay, family, give me 1 minute to set this up. Everybody, please put in the chat. Let me know what city and state you're watching me from. Everybody, please put in the chat while I'm doing this what city and state you are watching me from. Somebody said the DMV. Hey, somebody said Marietta, Georgia, Guadalupe, Charleston, South Carolina, Kansas City, Missouri. Somebody said Denver. All right, y'all. Okay, I think I'm ready. I think I am ready. Thank you so much for your patience. Okay, family. Now, how many of you all know that the world has been mourning the passing of Mother Khadijah Muhammad, the wife, the longtime wife of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan of 72 years? I have discussed it in length here on my channel, so just go to the lives for my videos here personally at VickiDillard.tv, which you're watching me on now, so that you can see my full broadcast. It's very, very enlightening, insightful, and there are some things perhaps that you may not have known even about the message that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan sent me on more than one occasion. Yes, about my specific work on the planet. Very, very powerful. So you don't want to miss that. So make sure that you watch that. Yes, somebody said they Seattle, Charleston, New York, Fairborn, Georgia, Rosedale, Mississippi. Hey, Mississippi. Y'all know I was born and raised in Mississippi. Atlanta, Georgia, Washington, North Carolina, Salt Lake City, Bryan, Texas, Silver Spring, Maryland. What is this? Moon Vernon, New York, Oceanside, California, Hay Kings Mountain. What is that? Is that a city, or are you saying Hay Kings? Or is that the name of the city? North Carolina. Either way, North Carolina, Utah, Connecticut, Indiana. I love it. I love it. I love it. Watching from all over. Family. Now, we send our love, condolences, and blessing to the family, which I've talked about. I've also posted on different one of my social media platforms. Yes? Ashe. Now, family, with that being said, I want you all to see something here. Now, today's broadcast, honestly, is not really so much about which I can't help it to give receipts. Now I can't say it ain't about receipts. Y'all know everything I do night and day is gonna be some receipts, baby. But my main focus. Somebody said Senegal, Dakar, Senegal, Ashe, Kings Mountain, North Carolina. Okay, beautiful, Kings Mountain, North Carolina. Awesome, Oxford, North Carolina. Yes, I love it. Welcome, family from America and around the world. I'm so pleased that you're with us today. Are y'all hyping and sharing the broadcast for me? If so, thank you so very much. I appreciate it so much. And by the way, family, you can get my products and services. And again, when it's time for you to enroll in my paid How Bloodlines Shift Trade Lines, me giving you actual practical ancestral secrets to manifest out of thin air. That's how we're meant to manifest. Be sure to go to my website at VickiPlanet.com, and it should be up within a day or so of this broadcast. Yes, on how you can register and save your seed. You don't want to miss that. You have nothing to lose, family. You have nothing to lose but your birthright. Are y'all listening? I said you have nothing to lose but your birthright. I give so many free offerings on a very regular basis, very esoteric, high-ranking information. Divine classified information is actually what I call it. Talk black to me, somebody. So you don't want to miss that. Your life will never be the same. And people that are resonating with me is because your spiritual team, including some of your ancestors, very well might be guiding and leading you to my work. So pray about everything. This is not something that's compulsory. Obviously, we're grown-ups. You do it if you choose to do it, but you're also going to make a spiritual investment. Ashe, somebody just said powerful. I know that's right, beloved. Now, enough of that chit chat. Everybody, let's. Well, actually, I wasn't just chit chatting because I was making some powerful points earlier, but I was also on Instagram, so I wanted to give them a chance to get here if they choose to come at this point. Now, I was saying a minute ago how the world has been mourning, some of them, and the others have been honoring, right? The passing of Mother Khadijah Muhammad, and we give thanks for her beautiful and glorious life. She is known as the matriarch of the Nation of Islam, the mother of the nation, yes. And so Minister Farrakhan himself has discussed, and of course he has, how intricate she was to his rise and him becoming the man that he is. And so often, of course, we hear about how, when we see someone that's great, we too often forget about and don't properly honor the one that helped to assist and make them such. Yes, but we honor her. And even I was watching a clip of the Janza, the funeral, Muslim funeral of Mother Khadijah. And it sounded like a little bit that the minister got choked up when he was saying that she was his greatest blessing, aside from, he said, his relationship with God or Allah and the coming of God, I believe is how he said it, something along those lines. And but that it was just a very moving tribute to her when he spoke. I'm sure you all can find that online as well. Somebody said Mother Khadijah is stunning. Yes, she is, beloved. Indeed, she is. Indeed, she is. So family, I want to get to where I'm going without any delay. So with the world honoring her passing, her life, I should say, and respecting, showing respects for her passing. And some would say, if you're Muslim, they typically say, her return to Allah. We honor her. But it's interesting that Congress recently, we can say, honored her. Now, I'm going to make a much larger point, which is why when I say I'm not going to so much focus on too many receipts, meaning a lot of making more of a political point, I'm really making more of a prophetic point today. Are y'all listening? I'm really making more of a prophetic point today, and I don't really want this missed, what I'm about to say. And so let me play this clip really quick of Congressman Jackson taken to the floor to honor Mother Khadijah Muhammad. And of course, this is under the Copyright Act of 1976. So y'all listening? Everybody, before I play, it's only a minute in the couple. It's short. It's very short. But before I play it, y'all give me a sound check. Let me know if you can hear this video when I hit play. Can everybody hear it? Hold on, they're not talking yet.
Without objection, the gentleman is recognized for 1 minute. We gathered today to honor with a grateful heart.
Can everybody hear? Let me know if y'all can hear that. I turned it off for now. But
a remarkable woman whose life was not measured merely by the years she lived, but by the lives she lifted.
So, fam, I need, okay, somebody said yes. Okay, great. Can a couple more of you all tell me if you hear me or not? Yes, I can hear you. Okay, y'all say it sounds good. Great. Okay. Awesome. Okay. I'm going to put it now close to the screen. Here we go.
Here. Seek recognition.
By the way, before I say that, this is Congressman Jonathan Jackson. How many of y'all know about Congressman Jonathan Jackson out of Illinois? Anyway, Congressman Jonathan Jackson, it was posted. This was posted on July 2nd, it says here, where it says he speaks on the passing of Mother Khadijah Muhammad. Yes? And this comes directly from
without objection, the gentleman is recognized for 1 minute.
His congressional video.
We gathered today to honor with a great seek recognition.
Here we go. Yeah, I'm doing
without
the most.
Objection, the gentleman is recognized.
Let's try this again.
We gathered today to honor with a grateful heart seek recognition. Without objection, the gentleman is recognized for 1 minute. We gathered today to honor with a grateful heart a remarkable woman whose life was not measured merely by the years she lived, but by the lives she lifted. Ms. Khadijah Muhammad FARRAKHAN reminds us that history is often shaped not only by those who stand behind the microphone, but also those who stand faithfully beside it. She was a devoted mother who nurtured character before success, a gracious teacher whose lessons were written as much by example as by instruction, and a faithful servant whose deepest desire was to honor Almighty God through a life of discipline, dignity, and love. She walked beside her husband of 72 years, the Honorable Louis Farrakhan, not simply as a spouse, but as a trusted companion, counselor, and partner in purpose. She leaves us a testimony that greatness is not found in prominence alone, but in perseverance, not in position, but in purpose, not in acclaim, but in unwavering faithfulness. May we honor her memory by living the virtues she embodied: faith that never faltered, love that never failed, service that never ceased, and hope that never surrendered. Well done, good and faithful servant. May God grant her eternal peace, comfort her and her beloved family, and continue to let the light of her life shine through generations yet to come. I yield back, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, so I do not want to politicize that, because I think that the dignity of that moment, the dignity of her as a person, that I believe, excuse me, should be applauded. And I honestly was pleased that Congressman Jonathan Jackson honored Mother Khadijah Muhammad. I believe he made some important points about the fact of not only her longevity, but how she helped to shape many people, even though she was not the primary foreperson or the one with the microphone. And so I believe that was beautiful. And I'm not here to politicize that. So I want to be very, very, very careful in that. But I want to leave this with you. And I don't want to show respect with my words only, but with my deeds, with my intention, and with my behavior. And I pray that those who are connected to Vicki Dillard and Vicki Nation, that we move likewise. It is not lost on me, though, that Congress waited until her passing to honor her. And wouldn't it be something if we would begin to elevate and honor the lives of those who are true revolutionaries? When they're hot and when they're online. Look at me. Not just when it's safe. You see, our legends are elevated by the same governments and entities that either once tried to or actually kill them. And then they make magic with their death when they resurrect them at will for their own diabolical purposes. And they may name a street after them or a library or give them a stamp. After throughout their lives, they demonize them. So while the average person would say, not now, Vicki, let this moment of honoring happen, I say to you as a prophetess, don't you ever get true honoring mixed up with useless gestures that do not lead us to true progression and revolution. You see, it's a problem when we normalize respectability politics. It is a problem when we get locked into gradualism. See, we're okay when it's just sprinkling outside or when it's a little dew on the ground. But we think it's unfair when it's a hurricane or a tornado that spares nothing and no one and without warning. And might I say something to you, Black family? You are on the brink of a tsunami. A type of prophetic tornado is on the way. Hear me good. Because you only want it to sprinkle. And you have not taken action strong enough, well enough to make any damn difference for the masses of our people. Now that it's safe, let's invoke her name. And enough of you repost that. Enough of you congratulate that. Enough of you are pleased with that. Enough of you salute that. But not me. And I will never let you mix that into that and make it some kind of a cocktail that you can drink and become inebriated by. No. Not on my watch. Not on my watch. You have no business being pleased with a Congress that can invoke and respect her death, but did not use those same platforms for their life. You all do understand that the same Congress that rushes to score brownie points, specifically with folks that are in the Nation of Islam and others that may be similarly situated. Some of them, I think the mayor of Chicago, didn't he go to her funeral? the hell is Brandon Johnson there for? What is the meaning of that? I know right now some of you all are saying, but they were showing respect. No. They were engaging in war to keep you docile and to score brownie points for whatever other upcoming political thing he's got going on. I'm specifically talking about the mayor of Chicago, Brandon Johnson. It's just like one of the little activists out there in Chicago. I think I said something on his page a long time ago. He has hundreds of thousands of followers, very influential in some areas of the streets. And I called him respectfully. I mentioned something on his page, Instagram, for aligning himself with Brandon Johnson. But those same people that align themselves with the mayor for some political purpose, and you're supposed to be a revolutionary, you don't back my work. I'm going to keep invoking my power because I'm trying to expose that there is a spirit that's operating through a lot of you. And you're conflating what the hell is going on, and I'm not going to let you comfortably be situated in the counter matrix. Now, you can, but as much as I can, I'm going to try to save at least 2 or 3 of you, and that's about all. Because you ninjas still want the crumbs. That is to your shame. And it can be nothing more than what I just said. But I came across something that was on my timeline, certainly nothing I was following. It's video, the tag that was on the video said GS Moore 4123. And he caught Reverend Al Sharpton in some place, ostensibly. And this is on Instagram. And I want you to watch what Al Sharpton does when he's asked about Mother Khadijah Muhammad.
Brother Minister Farrakhan's wife passed away, and I know you know her. Khadijah Muhammad, 90 years old. She's on the same road you was on, fighting for black folks and a champion of our struggle and our cause. What do you have to say right now?
Well, what I would say is that I've known them for years. We may have had different tactics and different ways of doing things, but she was committed and she stood by the nation all the way to the end. And I'll call the family to give my condolences.
Brother, you are the best. Thank you so much.
So while the man was still holding the mic, Reverend Al Sharpton was headed in the other direction. The question becomes, beloved,
thank you so much, brother. Appreciate it. Brother Minister Farrakhan.
The problem I have with that is a few things, right?
I've seen people get angry.
I want you to listen again to what the commentator says to Al Sharpton again.
Brother Minister Farrakhan's wife passed away, and I know you know Khadijah Muhammad, 90 years old. She's on the same road you was on, fighting for black folks and a champion of our struggle and our cause. What do you have to say right now?
Well, what I would say is that I've known them for years. We may have had different tactics and different ways of doing things, but she was committed and she stood by the nation all the way to the end. And I'll call the family to give my condolences.
Brother, you are the best.
Thank you so much, brother.
He said, brother, you are the best. She was on the same road as you for the struggle for our people. Al Sharpton says, I've known him for years. We had different tactics. And I'm going to give him a call. Someone as high profile and as well known as Mother Khadijah Muhammad, you would have thought that Reverend Al Sharpton would have already called them or contacted them in the first place. Is that right, family? But the issue I have here is not surprising what Al Sharpton did, because Al Sharpton is a devil and a rat. And there can be no equivocation. No intelligent person that's watching me, we're not finna sit here all day and parse that. There's nothing to parse. It was absolutely predictable what Al Sharpton would say. The question I have for this gentleman, who I just mentioned, the tag is GS Moore 4123, and others like him, is why in the hell, in what world are you in to conflate the work that Mother Khadijah Muhammad was involved in? And to a degree, what does it say about the movement of Al Sharpton, the Nation of Islam, and the average person that's watching all of this from the sidelines? What made him say, what made him even care to want to know, to hear from Al Sharpton? What I have been prophesying, as I had alluded to earlier in this broadcast, when I told you all today is not about having a whole bunch of political receipts, but it's more prophetic today for me, is what I have been prophesying for a long time on multiple platforms for years, is that there is a changing of the gods and there's a changing of the goddesses. That means that there is a new shift of who will rule the new world to come. And damn it ain't him. And it ain't nobody that gives a damn about what Al Sharpton would think. And that's that drunk and confused and misguided. What does it say about some of you to where you actually think it is acceptable, that it is a thing, and that it is important, that it's appropriate to even hear from him? And what does it say about some of the other high-profile people that continue to rock with Al Sharpton, knowing that he's a Fed, allegedly, not so allegedly, but allegedly, that he's a fraud, and that he's a sellout? Let me tell y'all something. You are in very dangerous ground right now. I'm talking about celebrities, athletes, entrepreneurs, the average man and woman, engineers, bus drivers, nurses, architects, doctors, accountants. We're in a time now where things are getting ready to speed up about the great separation. Now, I know in some circles, different kinds of circles, people are talking about a reset. But what some of them don't understand is that some of the reset that's going to take place, even those that's talking about the reset, some of them are not even qualified to be in it, because it's multi-layered. And you're not going to get there when you jump ahead, when you butt in the line of the most ancient human beings on the planet. And when we are not honoring the true principles of justice, of divine ma'at. See, you're not going to be able to be wishy-washy and hang out in the gray area. There's no areas of abeyance for you. There is a separation first within house before the more draconian, before the greater reset with the actual political governments, systems, and institutions of the world. Are y'all listening to me? Somebody say confidential informant number 7. You already know. Al Sharpton is a rat. But that's still not enough because he still was accepted and loved by the Obamas. Now, if it was anybody else's past that was at issue, the Obamas would have stayed far from them and anybody in the political world. Is that right? They would not have that particular person involved in the DNC. Political candidates, presidential candidates would not make their way to his little poorly attended events, poorly attended by people that matter, not just other politicians for pictures. But if it's a record like Al Sharpton and proof that he's a fed and a snitch and a devil, it's acceptable because he's a snitch and a rat and an informant for the system and the worlds that they're upholding. It's the same way some of you still call former First Lady Michelle Obama. Y'all still love her in a way, show her respect in a way without still holding her accountable for being friends with war criminals and justifying the war criminal that even her husband is. You all are normalizing that which you ought not. He hadn't already reached out to give condolences to her. But this man, this brother, felt that it was appropriate to ask Al Sharpton what he thought. Do you all understand that some of you all are really delusional and that you are literally upholding a dead thing, a dead man? I'm talking about a system, an ethical and a political system that's not even on, it's on life support, which means it's not even pumping, it's only alive because of a machine. That's what some of you all are doing when you continue to allow him to be on MSNBC, whatever the new name is now, MS, what is it? MS Now. When he still is allowed to have his radio show and other such things and giving the impression that he's speaking for Black folks. This is very problematic. When he's sitting up still in Essence magazine, still making appearances and still have political connections, it's something very wrong with you when we're not doing enough action to ensure that we don't have to hear from him on our political airwaves, and that MSNBC or MS Now, whatever, and that these radio shows and these other individuals and these other politicals understand real clear that there is a political price, a social price, an economic price that they all must pay by withdrawing our support in ways that matter, family, for allowing voices like him to still be elevated and misrepresenting us around the world. And I want us to really hone in on that, because I'm telling you, us talking about it online and people are chit-chatting in the comment section, just keep calling him informants and rats and snitches and sellouts. I'm saying we got to do more. The platforms that's upholding him, we have to begin to direct our action against them. Somebody said in the comment section, y'all see that? It says, he's so scared to say the word, the Honorable Minister Farrakhan. That's true. They said just the last name Farrakhan in general, he had to say she'd been by the nation's side. No, she's been by Minister Louis Farrakhan's side. Say his name, man. That was one of the comments that somebody made. Somebody else said, you know what's sad? They said, but I think they're trying to say, do you know what's sad? Also, I heard not one black entertainer at the BET so-called awards didn't even say one thing about her death. As I said before, we have no culture anymore. It's controlled by corporate America. Somebody else said something similar. Yes, I'll call. I'm not sure what they meant by that. Anyway, I'm reading through this in live, family. Why haven't you? Oh, they said, I'll call. I see what you're saying. Like what I was saying a minute ago when he said, why hadn't he already called? They said, I'll call. Why haven't you? I wonder what the time frame was on this. Was it minutes, hours, or days after Mother Khadijah passed? That's what somebody said. Okay, that makes sense now. Somebody else said, do we have a culture of our own as Black men and women in this world we live in? Somebody else just said, that's what I like, even though we may think different, we may believe different, but at the end of the day, we can all come together for what common cause is. I don't know, somebody right there who said that must have been drunk, sick, high, on something. Somebody else just said that ninja wasn't calling nobody, wasn't calling anybody. He got put on the spot and had to save face. Right. He didn't know her very well, not much to say if you don't know a person. So in the end, after he makes his little comments and stuff, you all can see where he's trying to hurry him back away from the microphone and go the other way. And he was really trying to size up the man because I think Al Sharpton was expecting the host to ask him more serious question, which he didn't. It was very safe and frankly, probably weak is a good description, but whatever. And so I believe he was really trying to see where he was going with it. So yes, he was trying to be safe with it, but look, you see Al Sharpton is backing away. Y'all see, rushing, rushing off. Somebody laughing in the chat. I wanted to show you that because I think all of it is very problematic. Can y'all hear and see me okay? Somebody saying something about being choppy. Can everybody hear and see me okay? Let me know in the chat. Let me see if I can see myself. Let me pull it up. Okay, somebody else just said they can hear me okay. Somebody said it sounds good. Okay, so if somebody's saying that they're having problems, check your device because a lot of other people in the chat saying they can hear me just fine. Now, every time you all watch me, you know that I'm always trying to bring up another layer of something. Remember, I said today is not really a day that I was trying to really go heavy with a bunch of receipts on this, right? But I want to show you another element that you might have missed. I discussed and hinted at. Okay, everybody said they can hear the live has been clear the entire time for me. Ashe. Okay, somebody else said go in, sis. So remember, I said today is more or less prophetic, right? Okay, great. So the only other receipt, something I'm not even really using this as a receipt. I want to continue to show you something here about Al Sharpton's very long history. And I'm using it in the context of Tavis Smiley. Why? Because Tavis Smiley was a well-known and really considered in some circles to be a legendary Black journalist that had his longtime show on PBS, had a longtime show, radio show, was definitely deep within the political circles. This is not somebody that is not fully aware and was not fully integrated into mainstream media. Y'all understand that? But even somebody on the scale of a Tavis Smiley had very serious issues with the way in which Al Sharpton, Dr. Ogletree, and others that we would in intelligence society would call, irrelevant boule type sellouts and shields, Even Al Sharpton publicly fought with him and Dr. Cornel West. And Dr. Cornel West is by no means, I mean, he does some revolutionary stuff, and I shout him out on that. And I'm grateful for the stuff that he, is truth about, but he ain't, he is what it is. I'm gonna leave that alone. But my point that even though Dr. Cornel West had his hands directly still in Ivy League schools, because obviously he taught there, he still spoke out sometimes against, and in many ways, different sorts of injustices, as well as Tavis Smiley. But I'm saying, notwithstanding the connections of Tavis Smiley and Dr. Cornel West in establishment, institutions, systems, and media spaces, Al Sharpton still had an all-out, drag-out, long fight with those individuals. Are y'all listening to me today? I'm trying to let you all know that Al Sharpton is a whole nother level of coon. If he was publicly fighting with those men, do you understand? And like I said, I believe Tavis Smiley has done some good stuff. I appreciate some of the things that he was trying to do, even in mainstream media, how he was trying to elevate some of those things, and not just trying, effectively did do. But I want to remind you all of something that even many years ago, something that Tavis Smiley and Dr. Cornel West issues that they had with Al Sharpton. Now, first, before I go there, now this clip is under the Copyright Act of 1976. This clip is very short, but I'm still going to break it up in seconds because I don't want no copyright issues, family. That's why Vicki keep going in and out with these people. People play too much on these different platforms. Now, just so you know, I'm not making it up. Everybody look at your screen. Look at your screen. This video that you're getting ready to hear from the this clip rather, from the Wall Street Journal. How many of y'all know Wall Street Journal is Lily White? And you can't get more mainstream than the Wall Street Journal. Talk black to me, somebody. And they damn sure ain't liberal in any way, form, or fashion. Not that we care for the liberals, because the liberals are no friend of black folks. But I'm just saying, it's clear what their angle is for their media, right? This is way back in 2013. Y'all see that? I want y'all, I need y'all to understand something. So this is when this was posted, right? Right? Even way back then, somebody tell me in the chat, way back then, family. Let me pull it up. Even way back then.
As your career evolves, I mean, because now you're on MSNBC.
13 years ago, y'all look at your screen. What is this title from this Wall Street Journal news editor? Okay, y'all see his name there, Lee Hawkins, the news editor, right? From Wall Street Journal. Y'all see that? Can you all see? Did y'all see the title? What is the description title of the video, family? Lily White, mainstream media, conservative leaning, especially way conservative leaning, for sure in 2013. Why in the world is the Wall Street Journal doing a piece, an interview with Al Sharpton? And here is the description. This is the title. This is the push for this segment. They asking Al Sharpton what? What is the Wall Street Journal asking Al Sharpton years and years and years and years and years ago, family? This is not alternative media. I said this is Lily White, conservative, traditional. In many ways, certainly, I'm going to leave that alone. Y'all know they push war. They push all kind of stuff. They are asking Al Sharpton what, family? Why do you all think Wall Street Journal would do this piece on Al Sharpton years ago? Why do you think that Wall Street Journal, without any equivocation, would straight up do a segment asking Al Sharpton, is he a sellout? I submit to you, it is my belief, it is my opinion, and I'm clear about that. It is my belief and my opinion that they know he a sellout. They're not doing this because they want Al Sharpton to prove he's not a sellout. They're doing this because they're getting ready to use him and elevate a known rat, a known sellout against his people for their own purposes. How many of you all know that both liberal media and mainstream and Wall Street Journal types, they need the Al Sharpton types for ratings and to keep tricking both audiences, all kinds of audiences. By the way, Ravon, your gift is blessed 1,000-fold. He's always giving and supporting my work. Whenever a mainstream voice is trying to get ready to use a coon for a purpose, a particular purpose, they try to hit the issue head on so that you all can think that it's not really true about them. They're going to hit it head on to try to legitimize a known sellout. Talk back to me. Why do you think many years ago, Wall Street Journal is asking Al Sharpton, is he a sellout? Because they're getting ready to use him. And they want to, by having him on and specifically talking about it, give the appearance that it's not true by just having the discussion. Are y'all with me? How many of y'all know that both liberal media and conservative media need the Al Sharpton types? They both play off of each other. How many of y'all know that's why Fox News host Sean Hannity, when they were supposed to fire Joy Reid years and years ago, because I've been telling y'all for years that she's supposed to be gone. She was. But what stopped one of her many times of being fired is because Sean Hannity personally got involved and asked the network not to fire her. Both networks need that. They both need a boogeyman for their stupid audiences. Y'all understand that? So behind the scenes, they sitting back there asking the network not to do it, but giving his audience the impression that she's some kind of devil and vice versa. Y'all understand that? It's the same thing with Al Sharpton. Now that I showed you that little part, listen to a little bit of the clip. Watch this. Here we go.
As your career evolves, I mean, because now you're on MSNBC, very successful show on that. Have you gotten some criticism over that? Do you believe that you sold out?
Sold out to who? You know, one of the things that's interesting to me is if you look at the last 2 years, I've been on MSNBC for 2 years. The issues that have been out front, Trayvon Martin, I helped lead. Voter ID, I helped lead. Dealing with the whole question of ending early voting, I helped lead. Dealing with the question of the unemployment, I helped lead. 50th anniversary march on Washington, I organized with Martin Luther King III to help lead. So the people that are criticized has done nothing but criticize. Every major social national move in civil rights, we've helped to lead. So not only have we not sold out, I think that they're disappointed that we still have been able to stay on the forefront of civil rights and still do my talk show.
When you go and you read the
For those of you that don't know, people found it suspect that Al Sharpton had a show at MSNBC. Al Sharpton was the one that lobbied to get himself a job on MSNBC and basically tried to humiliate the network, telling them that they have a show that's all white all night. I think that was a phrase he used. Now, Obama needed Al Sharpton because how many of y'all know that Dr. Cornel West, Tavis Smiley, who are people that are not in alternative spaces and voices like mine, even they were criticizing Obama. Now, when I say criticizing, Tavis Smiley was not criticizing Obama in any other way than he did any other president. It wasn't about criticizing them. It was about holding them to account because journalists are not supposed to be your friends. So I believe in one of the things when I was doing more research on Tavis Smiley, he even objected to people calling him a critic of Obama because he was simply doing his job as a journalist like he did for all other administrations and all other previous presidents. But it was only because Obama is black that everybody all of a sudden is telling him you're criticizing him because they felt that you have no business using your platform in mainstream media spaces criticizing Obama. Are y'all listening? Now, Al Sharpton, all the stuff that he listed there, Al Sharpton was getting so much backlash on his show for MSNBC because people knew that he had no business being there. How many of y'all know that's when black folks was conscious? We was giving him so much hell for MSNBC allowing him to be there. It was having an impact. So this was actually meant to be damage control, a PR stunt, a media PR stunt to help legitimize his presence there. But Al Sharpton fumbles and bumbles his words, and he still needs to go eat. How many of y'all know I've been saying for years, when Al Sharpton was chunkier, when he was maybe eating pork chops, I don't know, he needs to go back to that. Because it seemed like your mind was more balanced with righteousness. Now that he brags about being a vegan or whatever the hell he is now, he done lost his mind. You need to go eat any and everything in sight again. I'm mentioning that on a serious note because the powers that be, including the Obama administration and others, were priming him to be their advocate against voices that many found to be credible and legendary, like the Tavis Smileys and the Dr. Cornel West. They were more dangerous because they're already in mainstream media spaces. So if they are holding Obama to account like they should have, and if they are calling Obama out for his anti-Black stance and him using the Republicans, remember Obama kept blaming the Republicans for everything he didn't do for Black folks. He was always trying to say it was Republican obstruction. All that was not no Republican obstruction, as I've said many times before over the years. But too many of our people allowed that to be said. Why y'all laughing in the chat? Y'all know he need to go eat. And I'm not talking about no berries. And damn it, no nuts. Now, I'm showing you that little clip real quick just to let you all know he was in trouble. He was on MSNBC a couple of years. And of course, he was using that to go to war on behalf of Obama. So they intentionally allowed his voice to dominate, not because he's some success thing, but because they need a tool. All Al Sharpton wanted was to stay out of prison and to keep his bills paid. So because Al Sharpton had connections with the mafia, he's a street dirty dog. He was busted, should have been in trouble. But he apparently, allegedly made a deal with the devil. And now that the political system can use him, they just make sure that his little bills in New York is paid. They pretend like he means something and he is something by having that little national action. And whenever he says that word, he fumbles up his words with a bunch of stuff in his cheeks. And I don't trust nobody anyway that every time they say something got a bunch of S's. Everything they say got a lot of S's on it. What is everything got S's for? That's always a sign to me that something is wrong with all them S's just for no reason. So my point is he's not even qualified, not even got what it takes to even be in that position. But because the Democratic establishment, the Obama administration, how many of y'all know, and other political forces throughout the years needed him for that reason. Stop laughing, I'm serious. Talk black to me, somebody. So because Al Sharpton, the public outcry against him, though that many years ago was so strong, that was damage control by having a Wall Street Journal and others to try to legitimize him. And Obama needed somebody like him in those spaces. Now, just to give you another clue about how Al Sharpton was publicly getting down and throwing down with Tavis Smiley in public, y'all remember this?
Do is go look at the issue of what we're going to do with
this. Sound is not good, family. Y'all, tell me if y'all can hear this, because this is from a radio show. Look at your screen. This is from a radio show from when? It's even longer than the other one. Y'all know I got to go back and get the receipts. What year does this video say? Y'all see it on your screen? Al Sharpton versus Tavis Smiley on Barack Obama and the Black Agenda. What year is that? Y'all see it, 2010, right? So more than 16 years ago, right? More than 16 years ago. So the sound is not that good. It's kind of janky from a radio, but I'm grateful for this Mr. Dave YD This is the clip I'm using. And I'm not going to show the whole thing because I don't want no copyright issues. Y'all listening? Now, y'all listen. Can y'all hear this part? Tell me if you can hear this.
Well,
I got it all the way up.
In Washington tomorrow because that's what our concern is. We get killed if we don't represent our interests in the disproportionate amount of
can y'all hear
in our community, and I've been jealous.
Okay, before I go further, I want to know, can everybody hear me okay? Okay, y'all say yeah, okay, because the sound is not that good. Okay, good. Okay, y'all can hear it. Now, it's no picture because I told you it's radio, but this is what it says. This says on Tuesday, February 23rd, 2010, it says civil rights leader Al Sharpton and commentator Tavis Smiley squared off over President Obama not having a black agenda. Now, y'all, I want y'all to listen to the energy of Al Sharpton even then with Tavis Smiley. He confronted him on his radio show.
Are going to be back in there tomorrow. I think Mark is going to join us, Laura Murphy and others. Hold on a minute, Dr. Ogletree. I have on the line Tavis Smiley, I believe. What is that, Tavis Smiley?
Reverend Al, how are you, sir?
I was fine till you stopped messing with me this morning. What's wrong with you?
Nothing's wrong with me, and I'm not messing with you or Brother Ogletree. I'm you doing, Tavis? Hey, Charles, how are you? Good. What I said this morning was on national radio, which I'll say again now, is that we need to have a conversation about whether or not there needs to be a black agenda. And when there are certain African-American leaders, including respectfully and lovingly, as I said this morning, the two on this phone right now, who were quoted in the New York Times and other places coming out of meetings in the White House suggesting publicly in the media and to black people that this president doesn't need to have an African-American agenda. What I said this morning, and I prefaced it by saying how much I love you and Brother Ogletree and Mark Morial and Ben Jealous and the icon Dr. Dorothy Height. But when black leaders start saying to black people in the black media that we don't need to have this president focus on an African-American agenda, given that black folk are getting crushed, I said we need to come together to have a conversation about what that means. I think there's a disconnect.
Now stop. I want you all to listen to this because I'm trying to show you that 16 years ago, mainstream legendary voices like Tavis Smiley was calling out Al Sharpton. He said what? He said at the beginning of this clip, and I'm intentionally stopping it because I'm not playing the whole thing because I want no issues with the video. He said that Al Sharpton and them was leaving what? How many of y'all was listening good? I'm trying to see where my intelligent audience at. Before I tell you, Tavis Smiley said that he was basically calling out Al Sharpton, Ogletree, and others because they were leaving where? Where were they leaving, y'all? Talking about basically talking about that there was no need for a black agenda. Who just said it? Love plus, you got it right. They were leaving the White House. Are y'all listening? You need to have that in your head. Al Sharpton now has got a big role on MSNBC at the time because they intentionally want him to be a mouthpiece so that he can defend Obama and the Democrat Party. Obama needed somebody in a high-profile seating position, somebody unqualified that uses a bunch of S's for no reason, just S's for every word. For the zoo, for pencils, for roses, for the news, just S's, just for nothing. They needed any kind of voice. And they needed the rest of the public to clean him up a little bit, to give him a little bit of legitimacy, knowing that he's got mafia ties, that he's a rat, that he's a fed, and he's a bunch of other stuff. So they cleaned him up and to try to legitimize him. They needed him because voices like Tavis Smiley aren't alternative voices that are automatically put into the corner somewhere like a Vicki Dillard, that people that want to automatically just throw that voice away and not give respect and honor to truth tellers. No, Tavis Smiley has a history in mainstream media. So when somebody like him comes out publicly and holds you accountable, that's dangerous for Obama. Y'all understand that? So Al Sharpton got access to the White House. He got access to all kinds of other public spaces. And that matters to him, that when you can go in looking like he looks, speaking with a whole bunch of S's for no reason, and getting a show on MSNBC and getting a big enough check to take care of your New York apartment, your New York condo or whatever, and to pay your other bills, and then also give you a type of criminal immunity because you a criminal, Al Sharpton, in our opinion, who did criminal stuff. To ensure that you get a level of criminal, you will sell yourself with the title Reverend Al Sharpton. And because in the past, he used to shout out Minister FARRAKHAN, in the past, he used to shout out powerful people, everybody will ball all that up and conflate it to act like, to seem like he really something now, like that matters now. So with a Vicki Dillard, I tell you, I will say it means nothing that you stood with the likes of our true revolutionaries back in the day. Trick, when you're not doing it today. You see how that goes? I consider your whole life to be useless at this point when you consistently double down on the nothingness, the sellout raccoon that you are. You understand? Vicki will not put respectability on your name like some of your celebrities will do. And like Essence Fest and Essence Magazine and anybody that has anything to do with elevating that world. I want you all to pay attention to those nuances, but I want you to also, most importantly, pay attention to the energy that Al Sharpton is using after Tavis Smiley calls him out from leaving the White House. And Tavis Smiley already told him that he was quoted in the New York Times and other publications as coming out of the White House saying that there was no Black agenda that's needed. Now, Al Sharpton is getting ready to lie hard and strong because he's busted to try to say, no, he didn't. But you'll soon realize, oh, yes, the hell he did. Listen.
Between those kinds of quotes and Black people, I made no.
I think there's a disconnect between. I think there's a disconnect between what you're saying and what was said. First of all, we never said that, and second of all, the New York Times never said we said that. And if you wait a minute, I didn't interrupt you. And if you thought we had said that, you should have picked up the phone and called and asked us. When people were beating you down last year for your opposition for President Obama, I came to your forum and defended you. So the least you could have done if you thought we said something that you had issue with was pick up the phone if you had such love for us and ask us, was this said? But I challenge you to show me what New York Times said. That the New York Times said that we said we didn't discuss a race jobs bill. We did not say that we did not.
Stop right there. Al Sharpton said, I challenge you to show me where New York Times said that we said that. We said that, and he's trying to be all technical and say, oh, we only said what?
You would pick up the phone if you have such love for us and ask us, was this said? But I challenge you to show me what New York Times said. That the New York Times said that we said we didn't discuss a race jobs bill. We did not say that we did not think he needed to discuss it. Quote.
Now I can quote. I have the article in front of me. I can quote from it right now if you want.
From which date? Because I want to pull it up.
I got it right now. February 9th, 2010.
Go ahead.
And the article says,
now you see how Al started off lying when he said, show me what article, show me that where we didn't say that Obama didn't need a Black agenda. And then Al Sharpton specifically said, oh, we didn't say he didn't need no Black agenda. We said, what did he say?
Times said that we said we didn't discuss a race jobs bill. We did not say that.
He said, no, Al Sharpton lying, saying that the New York Times only said that we didn't discuss a race jobs bill. Don't keep that in your mind. That's the first lie. Al Sharpton claims, no, what we said was that we didn't discuss a race jobs bill. What did he say? No. Al Sharpton said, no. Al Sharpton said, no, the New York Times said we didn't discuss a race jobs bill, right? He said, I challenge you to show me that the New York Times said that we didn't say this. Keep it real clear what he specifically said. And watch how this devil gonna try to turn around and lie.
We did not think he needed to discuss it. Quote.
Now I can quote. I have the article in front of me. I can quote from it right now if you want.
From which date? Because I want to pull it up.
I got it right now. February 9th, 2010.
Go ahead.
And the article says, and I quote, talking about the fact that President Obama has been avoiding the race question. The article says, and I quote, February 9, 2010, many Black leaders view this White House position as wise. The Reverend Al Sharpton, who is working with Mr. Obama to close the achievement gap in education, says the president is smart not to ballyhoo a Black agenda. It goes on to...
See, that's the difference when you have a real journalist like Tavis Smiley and Al Sharpton that's giving the very, 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 very bad appearance that he's won. How many of y'all know Al Sharpton don't have on the uniform of a journalist? He got on the costume. He lied and said that the New York Times article only said they didn't discuss a race jobs bill. When Tavis Smiley gave him the date and the word for word, how many of y'all know word for word? With no need to just throw in 16 S's for fun. Watch. Pay attention to the energy. What did I say?
Charles Ogletree. It goes on to quote Dr. Dorothy.
Okay, well,
Wait a minute. Wait. Watch this charlatan.
The achievement gap in education says the president is smart not to ballyhoo a black agenda. It goes on to quote Charles Ogletree. It goes on to quote Dr. Dorothy.
Okay, well, Tavis, tell me when I said that he is smart not to ballyhoo a black agenda, how does that even come anywhere near you saying I walked out the White House saying that we don't need a black agenda, that the president...
Nigga, that's exactly what that means when you come out of the White House saying that this black president doesn't need to ballyhoo a black agenda after you just lied and said, I told the New York Times we didn't discuss a racial jobs bill. Somebody said the devil is a damn lie. He specifically said that the president did not need to ballyhoo a what? A black agenda. Wasn't nothing else. What does ballyhoo mean? Ballyhoo is a noisy, attention-grabbing fuss, commotion, or sensationalized publicity. Al Sharpton exactly said that the president did not need to, because what does ballyhoo mean? Make a sensationalized publicity, attention-grabbing fuss about no black agenda. And he sat there with his balled up mouth and words and lied to his audience face, playing with his ignorant audience who just makes a habit of turning on something. And when you turn on something, you are inviting your mind to be fed a certain way, even on a subconscious level. And some of you all conflate the fact that Al Sharpton, because he was combative, you conflate him being combative with Tavis Smiley as being right. No, it's a trick, because people know your weak minds will automatically turn into the fact that he's aggressive and combative and hostile. Was right. No, he's doing an Easter speech for the public. He's doing theater. He's performing a stunt. And that ninja knows you're going to tune in tomorrow.
Deals with. If I said that if you were getting ready to have an event and you'd be smart not to ballyhoo a certain segment of the event, that does not mean that I don't think you should have the event or emphasize something. What you just read is nowhere near what you said, Tavis.
First of all, Reverend, now, if you get a transcript of what I said this morning, I did not say...
You just told me what you said, and I'm telling you, you're wrong. And what you just read does not correspond with what you said.
I did not say anything more in my commentary this morning than what was said in these articles, number one. Number two,
Mr. Smiley, you did not just read an article that we walked outside of the White House and...
Al Sharpton is willing to beat up on Tavis Smiley for Obama because he knows that the Obama administration, their people, the Democrat Party, and other entities that have used for Al Sharpton, the tool that is Al Sharpton, he's performing for them. So when he gets off air, when he go to lunch, and when he goes sit in the meetings with them for the next strategy, and when he gets the next check, to continue to be a sellout, so he can get that Addy boy he's working on. Somebody put a bone in the chat. Somebody put that bone emoji, not that little bone emoji that's just the white one. Put that bone emoji that got the meat on it, with that little red maroon color with it. Gourmet bone. Al Sharpton is doing all this on the radio. So when he gets off, when he had a meetings with their little aides and stuff and their little strategists, when he gets behind closed doors, he can get that Addy boy, you did that. And the audience, even if the audience thinks that there's some truth to Tavis Smiley, because Al Sharpton is combative and raising his voice and talking crazy, y'all still gonna think that maybe there's some gray area there. And it ain't no gray area. He's just mixing up and confusing your senses. So you can't keep track of the lie good and the tricks that's being done through the airwaves. You understand?
Said that we don't need a black agenda.
Now, and that's not what my commentary said this morning.
But you just said that yourself.
No, I'm telling you now what I said in my commentary this morning. Number one. Number two, for 10 consecutive years, you and Charles Ogletree were pretty much at every one of these forums that I've had on the state of the black.
That's correct.
And in 10 consecutive years, I sent you the same letter this time that I sent all the others. You say I didn't call you. We're friends and we talk and hang out and have dinner together. But every year I invite you to participate in this conversation. I do it the same way.
First of all, Tavis. First of all, you have always called me and said, hold this date because you're getting a letter. Second of all, you announced publicly you are not having the forum this year.
Exactly.
You announced that publicly.
Exactly.
So sending me a letter and not even calling me and assuming I got a letter when you had announced you were not doing it is disingenuous. Hold it. I'm going to let you talk as long as you want, but I'm going to hit you point by point. So that is disingenuous. Third of all, for you to get on and say that we said something that we didn't say and then read a quote that doesn't say that, because February 9th, we hadn't even had to meet with the president. And I repeat, I don't think the president needs to ballyhoo a black agenda. That does not mean the president does not need to deal with a black agenda. The president does not need to.
Do you see how he's sitting up there lying and conflating stuff? How is he going to sit there and say, well, I said that the president doesn't need to ballyhoo an agenda? First, Ninja, you didn't even admit that you said that. He had to bring out the receipts to prove that you said it. You started off lying, saying that you said to the New York Times that y'all didn't come out there with the racial jobs bill, dummy. It was only when Tavis Smiley, brought the receipt saying that you said that the president did not need to ballyhoo a black agenda that you even got caught in the middle of your lie. Now you admit, oh yeah, I did say he don't need to ballyhoo a black agenda, but saying he don't need to ballyhoo a black agenda doesn't mean I'm not saying he don't need to deal with a black agenda. What does ballyhoo means, family? Ballyhoo means he does not need to publicly make a fuss about a black agenda. We know what you said, Ninja. And y'all, and I'm keep saying this to y'all, we need to make sure that Al Sharpton, we need to figure out our strategy, because I don't want to hear from him no more on these airways where people got him on there pushing misinformation. He's getting access to politicians. So we need to start doing stuff. I'm talking about activist work related to calling out the Kamala Harrises, Cory Booker, and others that recently met with Al Sharpton. We need to let them all know that it is unacceptable for any of them to be anywhere near him. How many of y'all know recently I showed y'all footage of Al Sharpton calling some of us stupid over reparations? Recently. He literally used the word stupid to describe us recently. How many of y'all know that? We are not going to sit here and play with these voices out there and there not be some sort of consequence that we're going to hold the platforms and the people that continue to elevate his voice and they continue to align with him when this man is a whole fed. If they're not going to meet with voices like Vicki Dillard, but they make excuses about somebody that's a sellout and a true devil like him with a real for real record, we are going to start switching up and adding to our strategy, because my goal for us is to deal and to weaken these systems and institutions in more ways than one. There are several different parts of that. I gotta go, family. There are several different parts of that interview. So I don't have time to get into the other, but he kept that same nasty energy, family, the whole time. And you can hear it here in even the second part. Y'all listen, just a little bit. Everybody hit that thumbs up button, share, share, share.
Time here on the show from Harvard. I believe we still have on the line Tavis Smiley, and we're talking about incident that happened this morning. Mr. Smiley announcing he is going to do a forum, and had some words that I took disagreement with, and I think Dr. Ogletree did. And let me say this. I want people to be clear. I have a lot of respect for Tavis, and I hope that how this resolves itself is where all of us can disagree without being disagreeable and resolve it. I would have hoped that we could have done this in private, but since you decided to attack me on the air this morning on national radio, as you said, I answered it on the radio. And I hope that we can, in some way, show our people how to resolve these matters.
You promised before the break you let me respond to what you said.
Go ahead, please.
I can do that. Can I?
Go ahead.
Can I respond?
But let's have it speak, because I don't.
Well, I'm not thinking response to all of them. Let me just
All right, go ahead.
there are 2 points I made in the New York Times article you're referring to, Tavis. The first is that I said I think that there is a carefulness, not a reluctance, but a carefulness about what should be said going forward from the president, because he can't get ahead of Congress, even though he should use a bully pulpit. The second point I said is this.
Did y'all hear Ogletree, Professor Ogletree there of Harvard? He's trying to clarify what he said, because remember, Tavis Smiley was calling out not only Al Sharpton, but Ogletree and other quote unquote black leaders, right? So here you got Ogletree in an Ivy League school, as an Ivy League school professor, coming out saying, what did Ogletree say? He said that Obama needs to use a level of carefulness. Y'all hear that crap?
And then
Y'all hear that crap? That's the wrong one. Let me go back.
I'm not taking response to all of them.
Listen again.
There are 2 points I made in the New York Times article you're referring to, Tavis. The first is that I said I think that there is a carefulness, not a reluctance, but a carefulness about what should be said going forward from the president, because he can't get ahead of Congress, even though he should use a bully pulpit. The second point I said is this, that I find it puzzling, the idea that a president who happens to be black has to focus on black issues. Those are 2 things I say, period.
They think we stupid. They think Tavis stupid. Ogletree sat there and admitted that he said that Obama should use a level of carefulness related to black folks, black agenda. Did y'all hear him? And what was the last part? I cannot mess up this last part because it was too, I believe, revealing what he said.
The president, because he can't get ahead of Congress, even though he should use a bully pulpit. The second point I said is this, that I find it puzzling, the idea that a president who happens to be black has to focus on black issues.
Ogletree said that he found it puzzling that a president that happens to be black is supposed to focus on black issues. You ninjas are sick out there. Now, instead of him talking with a bunch of S's, he modulates with that Adam's apple or whatever. Do he have one? I don't know, but it sounds like he got one. And that's fine, but it's like he's trying to play an instrument of appeasement with that throat. Turn them decibels and whatever the hell it is up and down, damn it. They do that to mess with your mind, to get the appearance, to make you, so you can be focused on his Ivy Leagueness, which means you irrelevant to us over here. He said that he came out and said that the president needs to use a level of carefulness, and that a president that just so happens to be black, he finds it problematic that he's expected to be pushing black agenda. This is what they said. And they want to sit there and pretend like somehow Tavis Smiley got it wrong when he called them out. Because you all clearly said that there was no black agenda needed. Why y'all laughing? Somebody just said it's an honor to be in the room with you, goddess of social media. Thank you, precious. Ashe. Let me tell y'all something. because I don't talk with a bunch of S's, and because I don't use an Adam's apple or whatever the hell is down off in there to go up and down with, to go in and out with, so I could throw you off and trick you into thinking some kind of way that what I'm about to say is intelligent, and it's not. Because I will scream at you 1 minute, and damn it, you would think I'm giving you a lullaby the next. Because I'm not here to play with you. And I'm not here to promote gradualism as a strategy for revolution for Black folks, for progress for Black folks. Let me tell y'all something. Any Black person out there, period, that is promoting and pushing any level of respectability with injustice is not for us. And we cannot be drunk off of their influence. Let me tell you something. Time is of the essence. In fact, I prophetically heard this morning that the time has come. That means that there are some things that are getting ready to accelerate. And I'm not about to call those that you say are respectable. I am not about to treat them as such. Because you wanted to do, you only want dew on the ground. You only wanted to sprinkle. And the divine is saying, a tsunami is in order. A volcano eruption. A hurricane is your damn destiny. And what I have to say for those of you all that disrespect our call and urgency, our demand for urgency and prioritization of Black American issues, foundational Black American issues, look at me. Who are we to wait? Who are we to be patient? I said, who are we to wait? And who are we to be patient? I said, who are we to wait? And who are we to be patient? I said, who are we to wait? And who are we to be patient? And you are registering your complaint online is not enough. Us calling him a sellout and an informant and a rat is not enough. And that's exactly why some of you should be connected to my monthly mastermind, affordable mastermind spiritual school at VickiPlanet.com. The link is pinned there. And that's exactly why some of you all need to be attending my upcoming paid special one-day webinar that I'm doing. Some of you all, many of you all, literally by the hundreds at a time and over time, thousands have attended my free bloodline shift trade lines because the revelation and the insight is that deep and that powerful, no cap. See, some of you are not that magical. So when Vicki does and says stuff, you just can't believe it because you don't know how to work magic like that. So you project what you are not, and you think to yourself, surely they can't be. Oh, baby, it's real. And I am not at all interested in trying to prove ish to your ass. I'm only giving this as an invitation to those to whom this resonates. And if that's you, and you know that your bloodline is worthy of you making an investment into activating the dormant powers already in you, and to actually use your spiritual powers to shape your life, if you can believe that saying a prayer is supposed to change an outcome, the information that I'm going to release to you is similar to that, but it's actually more ancient and it's not mixed up with your fake Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. It's not mixed up with the white supremacist interpretation of what divine life really is. Who is this? Jin, your gift is blessed 1,000-fold. Obama is a grifter. Hell yeah, he a grifter. And Skamala is too. But they know that Trump is so outrageous and bold and unequivocal and clear with his mania, that they know that a lot of our people will simply crave for a more respectable mania that is the Obama or the Kamala, because they at least will give you a slow death. They will do nothing for you, but they will be nice about it. They're not going to ultimately change our bottom line, but damn it, at least they're going to sing Amazing Grace. They're going to come play at our churches and do the equivalent of an Easter speech in the pulpit. They're going to appease our senses, driving us down the same damn ditch. But by golly, they're going to go the speed limit doing it. Your gift is blessed again 1,000-fold. Jen, Auntie Vicki, you so lovely, honest. Thank you. Yo, thank you, precious. Again, your gift is blessed 1,000-fold. I got to go. Again, today was not really meant to be receipt-laden, written. But I just wanted to throw out a few things because I'm priming you for when I come to a city near you that you make the trip to come. Because there are some things that we're going to strategize and talk about as actions that we're not going to talk about online. But there's also spiritual things that we need to do, which is why I invite you to participate in my affordable monthly low-cost school called the Vicki Dillard Mystery School. The link is below. Because everything you see came from everything you can't see. So if you want to change outcomes, Black folks are in no position whatsoever to be disillusioned to believe that everything we do must be about voting and some political thing. No, our power, because we're more than what meets the eye, has got to be tethered to, attached to what we do spiritually first. But you cannot be spiritually misdirected with your Christianity or with your Islam or with your Judaism or whatever other religion or spiritual system that does not move you to revolution. May I tell you, you are possessed by the real devil if that is not how your spirituality moves you. If it tells you to turn the other cheek in the wake of open Epstein file actions. If it tells you to turn the other cheek when your family member is gunned down on camera, and we still are hearing about hangings in Mississippi, then may I submit to you, your ass is possessed by the real devil. And who are you to listen to modern Caucasian exegesis, homiletics, and hermeneutics about a book they stole and that's corrupted, and the Ancient of Days that is responsible, and that was a true original Black Vatican look like me? How dare you sit here and quote an interpretation about any religion unless you run it by me first? I said what I said. I didn't say no Rothschilds, damn it. I ain't say nothing about no De Beers. I didn't say nothing about no Skull and Bones or no other entity. I said ain't none more ancient than the other person, the person you look at on the other side of this screen. How dare you quote them over what the hell I say, them or their books? If I tell you that your Jesus is Jesus, Isis, Isis, damn it, who are you to sit there and still give credit to some obscure man that was hung on a tree, allegedly in Calvary, over there in the so-called Middle East? But you have no reverence for the ones that are always the Calvaries that's in Mississippi, the Calvaries that's in Alabama, the Calvaries that's in Georgia, the Calvaries that's in Florida. If I tell you your Black ass mama preceded them, you will fight me to defend what you ought not. And then you would do it because you are in fear of hell and because you've been programming. Oh, baby, you going to hell, but you going to the one I'm going to send your ass to. Oh, I said what I said. Quote it and make a meme out of it if I be a prophetess. or you should fear hell. The one I'm recommending you for. With your confused ass. I have to talk to some of you like this and prophesy that this is a part of the wheat and the tares when I started the broadcast by saying that there's a separation. Oh, baby, it's going to start with you. And you don't get to quote no Bible tricks. You don't get to quote the Quran, and you don't even get to quote Vedas without running it through the most ancient human being on the planet. Because every one of them and beyond have their roots in the true Ancient of Days. You can't deal with a theft of spirituality and make a whole nother thing from it, but you don't check in with what the spirit and the intentions of the prophesiers of those sacred words were. You want your safe life. Safe for what? To pay bills? That's good enough for you. But you understand that you're more than this world, right? Because that's why you said you're scared of hell, right? And why some of you all think you're going to heaven, because you know you're more than what me see. You know there's another dimension, but I'm going to tell you, woe be to you who think that's your end. No, it's going to be another world. Oh, it's going to be another life, for real, but it ain't what you think. And you fear what you ought not. And you despise and you mock and you reject what you ought not. See, you got the order going the wrong way, baby. And without me ever having to get spiritual on your ass, if I just stay purely physical and deal with your physiology and your biology, if I never went spiritual as it relates to the most high ranking, you ain't got the mitochondria that leads and connects to every people group on the planet. When everybody's mitochondria is tested, everybody is traced to the ancient Black woman. Dr. Frances Cress Welsing called her book The Isis Papers, The Keys to the Colors. And in her introduction, she gives a little excerpt, a blurb about why she named it Isis. And she refers to the ancient dark goddess that was Isis for a reason. I know I done said something right there, but none of you get to live your life in peace without ascending to that truth. Not without me saying it. And whatever word you think you're going to, after you have openly disrespected your true ancient roots, that is important to know, because if that's where your power comes from, and if that's what's going to bring the world into balance, and you're rejecting and mocking it, that means you are obstructing the new world to come. That means that you are aiding and abetting your own doom. Not boom, boom, damn it, but doom, doom on you. Somebody put an explosive in the chat. Somebody put some dynamite in the chat. Somebody just said, I felt that. Oh, please feel it. Yeah, baby. Doom, doom. And there is no apologies for it. Just tuning in, but Vicki, you were stunning. Thank you so much. Somebody done paid y'all to say this. Y'all know I like to say that. We're at a time now where I'm not here to play with y'all. And I know that I'm not for everybody, which is why people don't bring me in, because they know that my revolution is real. See, the breakfast clubs, the Revolt TV, CNN, MSNBC, all them little places, them little dying out as it relates to real influence. The reason why they can't really take me, because they know I'm real, but they bring them other folks that they say are revolutionaries for play. They know that energetically it can't be overtaken. They know energetically spiritually, metaphysically, that did something different right here. Not because you can say the same words and that day you got some views, weirdo. I'm talking about those that's really for real, trying to get in the ark. Because it's going to rain. I grew up in Mississippi, and the old folks, they would be singing. How many of y'all know, heard about the story of Moses? I ain't finna tell you what Moses is in this connection, but we're going to leave it alone. The story of Moses, as we're told. Not Moses, Noah. The story of Noah. Allegedly, he made an ark at a time where people were still living life like normal, getting married, partying, and having a good time. And for years, he had prophesied the end that was surely to come. And he was preparing by making this ark. And even though many years passed and they had already prophetically been warned that it was going to change, nothing on the outside appeared to corroborate his prophecy. Until one day, out of nowhere, finally, after years, it rained. They were destroyed. And only his people and some animals were saved. Now, that story is not actually accurate because it has more ancient roots. But I'm talking about the principle of the story that most of you all are familiar with. That's the only reason why I'm saying it. And that's why I'm prefacing it with that. Even that's a corruption. Somebody say not boom, boom, but doom, doom. You get the point. And it is not my job to give you all the answers online. It's your job to connect, to go further. And if you're a real revolutionary, and if you really understand that, some of you all day, this is what gets me. Some of you all will quote The Matrix all day long, which I don't even remember all that movie. But we know enough about the movie that the life that the people was living wasn't real and that they were stuck and being controlled. Everybody and mama love to talk about being in the Matrix, but not enough of you are legitimately trying to get out of it. In fact, so many areas of your life, you're defending it. But when I say it's a sacrifice for that life, when I say your whole lifestyle is going to have to change, when I say you got to remake yourself, you start to think twice. And that's fine. Pick your side and get out of my face. I'm only doing what I do and making certain distinctions. And I'm only exposing certain things. None will be able to say they weren't warned. And to those who were meant to go further with the new world to come in real life, but first doing it spiritually. With the most authoritative and the most ancient one on the planet. There's no imam. There's no mosque. There's no church. There's no cathedral. There's no temple that outranks what I'm talking about. And of course, that's radical for you. But so is your itty bitty mundane life. And so is the clock that keeps ticking century after century, millennia after millennia, getting the same results. So who's really crazy? Awing and oohing when somebody talking about the wheels and the UFO. But when I'm sitting here trying to give you practical things that you do spiritually to align with the reality of the fact that you're more than what meets the eye. More than just having speculative head knowledge, but rather the knowledge that's experiential and that you can embody. Oh, you don't want to bust a move. You a fraud. It's cool. Just get out of my face. This call, clarion call, is for those that's really about that life. That, as the saying goes, ready to burn the bridges. That's the only reason I do what I do. It ain't to appease none of you. Especially those that would mock and laugh. And those of you that enjoy the world that is dying. I ain't studying you. Not studying you. No, baby. I ain't studying you. My name is Vicki Dillard, beloved. Stay tuned. In the upcoming couple of weeks, I'm going to have a page, how bloodlines shift trade lines. My testimonies are outrageous. Men and women go crazy when they hear my deep revelations on literally how our ancestral line and our spiritual lineage is what can actually shift the economy, and it has for centuries. And its divine connection to the most ancient human beings that were the original spiritual, mystical, and material governments that ran the world and that was responsible for putting them into golden ages. That's what we're tapping into. We're not tapping into the stuff that you were taught at Harvard or Howard. We're not tapping into the stuff that they teach you off some little entrepreneur show and some information that you get from CNBC, financial stop. No, we're going deep, we're going spiritual. If you want something you never had, y'all heard that saying before. You got to do something you've never done. And that's the only people that I'm looking to connect with. If that's you, stay tuned in the upcoming couple of weeks. You'll learn how you can invest and save in your seat to get real insight, real wisdom, and real rituals to begin to connect you, to activate you for a whole new life. Yes, Lisa Parker said, thank you, Queen Vicki, for your extraordinary, wonderful live stream. You're so welcome. That's one of my long-term day ones. I love y'all so much, all of you. Those of you that gave on Cash App, those of you that gave with the stickers, every one of you that tuned in that couldn't give financially, how many of you all know that your presence is a contribution? When you share, it's a contribution. When you hype, it's a contribution. Yes? Thank you so much. Most importantly, I want you to begin to follow up and stay tuned. Look for my messages. Make sure that you subscribe to my email list on my website. My website is attached below. Go to my website, scroll to the bottom of my website, input your information. Why? Because a lot of times you may not see messages on YouTube when I post. You may not know when I'm on another platform or somewhere like ADNC. You may not know about that or hear that. You may not see stuff on Instagram. If you're not following me on Instagram at Vicki X Dillard, you may not see my X page at Dillard Vicki. You may not see both my Facebook pages at Dillard Vicki. It's just too much stuff going on that you might miss. So to make sure you get direct notification outside of the platforms, subscribe to my email list at VickiPlanet.com. That's VICKIPlanet.com. Don't be letting time pass and then you get distracted 2 seconds after the broadcast and you forget to do that. You cannot talk about being a revolutionary when we can't even follow up doing the email list and follow up to a 10-star. Family, stop acting like you really want people to join in and stop our destruction when we can't even do that. Talk black to me. Your $20 gift, Queen of Swords. Oh, I love that tag. What did she say here? Dark feminine energy in the house. I shade, beloved, all day long. And your very kind gift is blessed 1,000-fold. Family, thank you all so much. I love you so much for all of your contributions. I bow to you. You are my bliss. Like I said, stay tuned. Why? Because I told you I'm bringing this to your attention because we need to up the ante on all these things I'm bringing out, but you need to first know about them. But also our connection to moving it forward with spiritual work that we do. That's a part of my Vicki Dillard Mystery School. Again, go to my website and scroll down. You'll see the link to join there. It's very affordable. It's a very small price every month, but it'll change your life. And my students are getting ready to do secret things that I cannot talk about in the public, but you got to be a member of my school to join in. Access to things the average person will not. You have to be first spiritually fit. And we're doing all of this, somebody say, from nothing. I don't care what your credit score is. People want us to think that if you don't have the best credit score, people want you to feel like if you don't have credentials, people feel like that if you're not a millionaire, people feel like that if you don't have a big contracts, that you're not supposed to make a difference. No, baby, we're using a whole nother system because y'all don't know what the hell you're doing. America and the Western economic system is the petrodollar is already losing. Y'all keep losing, been losing. The people that y'all was listening to that was on the mainstream media, they don't even have jobs. They still losing, publicly, big time losing in front of millions of people, and y'all still giving them credit. No, how many of y'all know we're going dark? Somebody say we're going dark. That means to say we're going spiritual. And we're doing this from nothing. So yes, nothing. That's how we moving. But that takes time, which means we need to get started now. You qualified because you rejected. Where my gavel? Right there. I said you qualified because you rejected. You're qualified because they consider you to be nothing. You're qualified because they consider you to be the deaf, the dumb, and the blind. That's what qualifies you. Talk black to me, somebody. Not that other stuff. That's who I want to rock with. The rejected and the nobodies. That's what we own over here. We want to create a whole new world from nothing. And you ain't got to lose because half of you got nothing. with all due respect. Now, don't be sitting up here saying, well, I own my house and I got my 401k that's fat. Then I'm not talking about you. You know what I'm talking about in general. I speak, whenever I'm speaking about the masses of our people. That's the difference between me and other people that's trying to make a name for themselves. All the ones that y'all out there loving on mainstream media, especially. I'm speaking about us collectively, the masses. When the masses of our people start getting it together, then you'll hear me slow down on some stuff. Until then, as you were, and I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. My name is Vicki Dillard, beloved. I love you so much. I can't wait to see you again.